Okay, good afternoon, Shaggy SoCal with 2 for Forza and race 2 in this upcoming week for 2 for Forza Thursday Night Thunder. We're going to be at the Homestead Speedway. Um, I'm going to do standard track guide stuff, so I'm going to go out and run just a couple of laps, talk about what I'm doing. I don't know that I'm going to do a track walk for this one. It is an oval, but just because 1 and 2 is just one continuous turn, 3 and 4 is one continuous turn. I don't know that I need to break those down individually. So I'll probably just run some laps, talking about what I think it's doing, what I'm trying to do. Homestead's still a bit of a mystery to me as far as what the ideal line is, but we'll get to that in a little bit. And then, of course, because I do need to practice, I want some traffic out there. I'll run what I think we might see on Thursday as far as race length. And then kind of that helps me sort out tire strategy as well, what may or may not work for that race. But anyhow, enough talking. Let's go ahead and get in and do some test laps. I'm actually going to go hard compound just because they last a little bit longer. And let's just go ahead and get out here. So when I say that Homestead's a little bit of a mystery, it's really, I don't know what, I haven't found the ideal line yet. When I approach like Indianapolis or some of the super speedways like that, there's always that compromise between distance and speed. The inside line is shorter distance, the outside line you might carry more speed, but usually, at least my experience in Forza has been distance usually wins out. If you can shorten the distance, that pays off more than trying to run a high line and carry a little more speed. Homestead's weird, or at least I just haven't figured it out, where it's just long enough and the banking is just, you got banking, but it's not like Daytona banking or Sunset Peninsula banking. I don't know that running the shortest distance is actually faster. It might be, but trying to run a high line, I don't think is faster. It's what I'm trying to do now is run kind of in the middle. I'm going to get out of the throttle a little bit, but keeping the car kind of in the middle of the track seems to be the best compromise, lap over lap. I don't know. So typically what I'll do is starting this next lap, I'll kind of show how I typically approach Homestead, or at least, this kind of oval that seemingly has a, continuous turn through 1 and 2 and then through 3 and 4s. What I would tend to do is dive it in, get off the throttle and hold the inside and then roll back in and then try to unwind the wheel out of the corner. But even here, I still feel like I'm pinching the exit a bit, or I'm not getting the full benefit of the banking out. So same thing here. Let off the gas, try and keep it low, roll back into the throttle late, follow the line out. And that works, but it does put a bit of extra scrub on the tire in the middle of the corner because I'm trying to hold it down. Now I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm just going to try to keep it in the middle of the track and get back in the throttle a little easier. I'm not putting as much steering in. And at least for that sector, I can't, my little twitch things in the way, I can't see the difference in the sector time. Pushing a little bit, that's all right. And it's not too much of a difference, not less than a tenth. Quicker. I'm still faster sector, but still a little slow on the overall. Tires are finally hooking up. Yeah, the tires are hooking up. So, I don't know what to say. It's even here, the low line is gripping up now. I've got, or the tires are gripping up, so I'm getting a lot better grip through there. So I guess there's just, you've got multiple lines to take. The thing you want to be careful of is going in too hot because the car will walk up the track. And if you get into the wall, Homestead has sticky walls. And at least in my own practice laps, when I've hit the wall and gotten caught and slowed down, because you get steering in, your natural instinct is to like, I got to put steering in to get off the wall. Then all of a sudden you get really slow, and then it lets you go, and then now you're, you know, a third of the way down the track, possibly in the middle of people, causing accidents. So that's the danger with Homestead, is these walls will grab the car pretty quickly. You know, they're safer barriers. So I don't know what to tell you on this. Certainly, I don't think. Let's, you know, just for kicks and giggles, still got a little tire life left. I don't know that trying to run the high line and trying to stay high is good, only because if you do go in too hot, you don't have a lot of wiggle room before the car does that. So I would say, you know, trying to keep a low line might be good. Trying to keep it in the middle is probably a little better, a little safer. I was also playing around with other techniques of, okay, can I, well, let's just show it in 3 and 4. I don't like it, but if you can make it work, it's up to you. It's basically keep your foot to the floor, drive the car in, and then trail brake to slow the car down to keep it in the groove. You can do that. I don't know that it's faster. Hard to tell on that lap, but let's just do a lap this way. So I'm just going to hold the throttle down, go in, do a little trail brake. And, you know, I'm almost a tenth off. And I think the hard part there is it's easy to do too much braking, and then I'm also probably putting a little more steering than I need to. But that's another thing you can do. If you want to compromise a little bit, you can charge into the corner, and as you let off, just give it a little brake and then right back on the throttle. There's options there, but I think most of us are kind of, wow, this is quicker. I think most of us are just going to do the traditional in and just ease off the throttle. Once the car takes a set, just try to roll back in and manage the understeer out of the corner if we get it wrong. But that's Homestead. I like it. You know, again, it's that, you know, it's that compromise. It's not quite as short as what we have at Eagle Rock, but it's not a super speedway either. I think this should provide a good mix of racing. You know, definitely, and certainly as the tire compounds, and if we take differing strategies, you know, we'll have what they call comers and goers. But let's go ahead and set up, because I want to get into, excuse me, I want to get into the, you know, sim racing race simulation and kind of sort that out and see what we got on the traffic. So let's go to advanced event setup. Chevrolet, and we'll go to the oval car. And Homestead. Oh, no, we need to load options. And we'll do the Indy options that I ran on the last track guide. But let's make sure that we get the Speedway circuit. All right. So again, haven't done the guesstimation on race length yet. What I think it might be. So Homestead, yeah, to 30. We'll do 31 seconds. And now for kicks and giggles, we'll do 32 seconds on the calculation. So 30-minute race, 1,800 seconds divided by 32 is 56 laps. A lot of laps. Okay, and we are going, you know what? I think Matt is putting his thumb on the scale on that. Is we're going to run sunset. We'll do random, but I'm not going to run in the rain. 4x and 823. Okay. Me, I group roll off delay. I'll leave that. That's fine. Them. We're all good there. Rules. Tire wear 5X. Rolling. PI. Ascending grid order. Off. Mandatory pit stops 3. So let's talk about pit strategy before I commit to this. So again, we have the magic, 60% drop off point. Homestead on the oval, soft, medium, hard. Lap 8, lap 13, lap 18. And usually the end of that lap, at least what I did on the controller, it was right just 1 or 2 percentage points above 60%. So in theory, on a wheel, I might be able to get an extra lap out of it. And then, if you want to take a chance, you might actually be able to get another lap on that. So it might be, depending on how good you are in your tires, that 18 on the hards might be 19 or 20. Mediums 13 could be as high as 15. It depends on what you want to do there. But with a 56 lap race, we're doing multiple stops. We're probably going to be doing, I think I'm saying mandatory pit stops here for 3. What I'm probably going to do is, because I'm horrible doing math in my head, even 20, even if I do 20 laps on the first 2 stints on hards, that's still then 40, that's then 16. Do I try to push the mediums an extra 3 laps, or do I just do two stints on the softs? Who knows? This is where I kind of suck at tire strategy. So I think what I'll do is, I'm going to go out there and see how long I can make the hard tires last. If they can get to 20 laps, maybe I'll do 2 stints on the hard. And you know what? For kicks and giggles, if I could get 20 laps on the hard tires, and it not be really sketchy or getting the car turned, then maybe I'll drop down and try to run, 16 on the mediums and see how bad they get. That's part of the reason why we practice. It's not just racecraft and how we do in traffic and consistency. It's also, what will the tires do when they get past that 60% mark and start to degrade. Okay, so mandatory 3 stops. Actually, if I do mandatory 3 stops, I want to drop that to 2 because, let's see, yeah. So I'm going to do mandatory 2, and then that gives me the option. If I need to do a third, then I can do it. Okay. Enough talking. Let's go racing. All right, we are at sunset. Looming clouds, which means we're not going to have any rain because I don't have it set to do variable weather. Okay, car, fuel and tire. We'll go hard compound, and we're going to try and get 20 laps out of this. Oh, nice, right at 40%. Good. All right. Here we go. Let's see how we do. Just gonna take it easy this first lap. Just see where they sort out. Correction. I'm going to pass everybody on the outside. Because I think the way this setup is, we've got very little downforce compared to the Drivatars. It won't surprise me to have straight line on them, have top end on them on the straightaways, but then they should probably have a little bit better grip through the corners. much like I have on some of the other ovals as well. I'm also going to adjust my grip so that I'm pulling more with the left arm down than trying to push with the right. That'll save my shoulders in the long run. The other tricky thing with Homestead is you can actually start unwinding the wheel earlier than you think you can. The more comfortable you can get, the earlier you can unwind the wheel and still keep the car, in the groove. Again, you're freeing up the front wheels. The car should accelerate a little easier, a little bit less wear and tear on the tires. And again, part of it, I was a little bit high getting in. I'm not going to try and pull the car down low. It makes me predictable so that, again, this case, B-Man, I knew he was probably going to take a look on the inside. Might as well let him by. It's a long race. Too early. That seems to be, I'm kind of trying to follow B-Man's line there, at least as far as what the driver tires like to do. It's like they're not going all the way to the bottom. They're a little bit lower than what I was doing earlier. We will do a tire check at the end of this lap just to kind of see if I can get 20 out of them, or do I need to pit? Because at the start of the race, I'm probably not, again, because of traffic, because of the rolling start, probably not pushing the tire as much, but then the track's not rubbered in either. So 35. So all things being equal, 20 laps might put this tire at 70% or a little higher. Let's roll the dice. I just know that trying to get into pit lane here is a little bit tricky. Starting to pick up the draft from B-Man. And pushing high. That's fine, just work with it. Looks like everybody's starting to do the first pit. It's got another run here. And I got in a little high. It's going to cost me 2. The other thing we need to chat about in the group chat, now that just we're getting through pit cycling, is where do we rejoin the circuit? I think I have to go back and look at the race again from when we did the Jag D types, because I can't remember what we did. But I think this one is, even though the driver tires are kind of exiting onto the circuit out of one here, off the apron, I think ideally we kind of want to use the warm-up lane and kind of rejoin on the backstretch, similar to Indy. Oh yeah, these tires are definitely gone. Where are we at? Yeah. Come on. It's not horrible. It's just, you're not going to be able to carry near the amount of speed through the middle of the corner, and certainly can't pick up the throttle as early on exit. But if you wanted to push the tires a little bit, you can do that. Oh, wow. Alright, we will box this lap and hopefully not mess up pit entry. So, like Indy, even like Eagle Rock, if you are planning on heading into the pits, you're going to want to really stay low in 4. Let anybody close behind you know that you are pitting, because you have to turn in right about there, or you're not going to make the pit. So I still got to work on that. Our tires custom will go 40%. That's fine. Because even there, it's like I'm getting the timing to get the car slowed down in the end. So when you get released, second gear, go through the cones. By the throttle, and then play chicken with the wall. And then you're back out. So my pit entry, could have been better. Pit exit, pretty good. And cold tires. Definitely staying out this couple of extra laps cost me. But again, I'm also trying to do a strategy where I'm probably going to do this in 2 stops, where we still have some guys out there. Most of us have done 1. Looks like somebody's already done a 2nd. But my guess is that the AI is probably going to do 3 stops and maybe in some cases 4. So we'll see how this all plays out at the end of the race. Look at the sunset, don't look at the sunset, don't look at the sunset. Pay attention to the track. Yeah, that unwinding the wheel is that's going to take some practice. It's easy just to hold it all the way through, but then you can see the car starts to move down. I'm putting extra scrub in the tire. Now the track's starting to rubber in, I can kind of see that, kind of the semi-low line. It's not all the way down to the white line. It's just maybe half a car width up. Seems to be where the AI is running, and oh, we got a big kerfuffle. Guessing there was a little bit of a bunch up because pit exiting. Up a little bit. No need to try and split and then end up going way high and into the wall. Certainly the we're going to have some washout from I think and again, like when you start looking at tracks where it's like, you wish Forza could maybe, update how the AI emerges back on coming out of the pits. I'd add Homestead to the list. I'd add Indy to the list, but at least they wait until the short shoot. This is a race where I might turn the proximity arrows on. I've got worn tires. Comers and goers, these guys are on fresh tires. I'm not going to hold them up. Moderate. And now that we're at night and the track lights are on, I'm starting to use the course condition lights to kind of time when am I turning in, at least in the throttle. Oh yeah, we're pushing. I swear 3 and 4 drive differently than 1 and 2. I don't know if it's like Sunset Peninsula where maybe the entry to 1 is a little bit tighter than the exit, like it's an increasing radius turn onto the backstretch, and then it's a slightly decreasing radius in 3 and 4. But I always just find notoriously I tend to walk up the track in 4. Alright, gotta back way off because the car does one turn. One of us is going to hit the pit attenuator before the end of the race. Custom, we'll do 30%. It's a little more fuel than I need, but I can't tailor it. Okay, so same thing. Gonna stick to the warm-up lane. And we're gonna see if we can make these last 16 laps. Kind of defaulting back to the line I typically like to run. And for a lot of these races, it's about finding what works best for you. Well, actually, I was surprised. I thought it was the other car that was going to pit in Fusion. Stay low. Stay down there. Got in there a little early. Cost me. Please don't hit me. Give a little bit of a break there because I went into that corner a little quicker than I probably wanted to. Let's. So Random Mafia, I'm just trying to keep tabs on Random Mafia. It's 15 seconds, so we'll see how that changes over the next couple of laps. So that pass, trying to stick a pass then on Fusion here, you know, dove it in. I did. That's one of those. That is an occasion where it's like I drove it in, and then got off the throttle and needed to give it a little bit of a break just to keep the car to the bottom so I don't push up and put us both in the wall. Again, we're on this comers and goers. Fusion's cars on much better tires, and you'll just be able to drive right by me in the corners. Okay, we're not racing for position.
3 to go.
At this point, I don't see Brando Mafia making up 14 seconds or 15 seconds in 2.5 laps unless I stuff it in the wall. It's really just about hit the marks. Somebody's having a bad day there on the inside. There's Severe.
Last lap.
Copy that. Oh yeah, these tires are shot. Let's just take it nice and oh, trying to take it nice and easy. Okay, I mean, there's Homestead. Tire management, certainly in trying to be as smooth as possible is going to be key to doing well here, and just paying attention to what's going on around you. But 30 minutes 19, yeah, 30 minutes 19 seconds. Yeah, 56 is probably going to be the number. I can't imagine him adding a lap, but again, the lap's just so short. So, but with that, that's going to do it for this track guide. Though it wasn't much of a track guide, more just glorified practice for me. But hope you guys are having a good weekend. We'll see you on Thursday night. Happy racing. I got to do the podium, so. Brando Mafia. All right. Happy racing.